I think they see us as friends that accompany them to work or to school or whatever part of the day they're listening every single day. I know with the radio shows that I listen to, even after my show, I feel that way about those radio people. And so if someone that I feel is friendly toward me or I trust says something, I listen to that first before I listen to anything else.
I think that we establish a relationship with our listeners and they learn to trust us as far as, I only talk about things that I feel passionate about, both on the radio and off. So if I'm going to take on an endorsement, I'm going to have a passion for it. I'm going to really believe in the product, so I think that's believable.
The show we do is always based on the honesty, and it's not always pretty. It's a lot of fun and it's interesting, and I think people find that honesty thing and what the guys are talking about is the key to our success on our show and would be the key to the success in the product.
I think that you want to cut through the clutter. And our business, of course, is selling the music that you hear on the radio. We sell the songs, we sell the artists, we do the same thing for your product. We can cut through the clutter and make it stand out.
With an endorsement deal, you're going to take your top talent on the station, the guy, the voice that or girl that people listen to, and he's going to promote your product and tell everybody why this is a special product as opposed to everything else.
Endorsement allows a on-air talent that the listeners are familiar with to be able to come on and tell a story about their own personal experience with that particular product, and it just makes it more convincing. It makes them, it connects and allows people that are listening to begin to realize that, maybe they ought to sample that, maybe they ought to go test it out, maybe they ought to go into that store and take a look, or maybe a second look.
I think the first thing I need to do is get to know you and get to know your company and the product that I'm endorsing. I think there's been, in 14 years of doing this, I think I've endorsed one product that I really didn't believe in, and I did a really lousy job. I remember doing that job. I remember, every time I heard that commercial played, I'm like, you're not into this. You really never met the people. You never had an interview with the people. You didn't understand it. But what you did was you bought into it, but you really didn't buy into it. And that way I think it's important to go to know people.
There's several things that I really like. I definitely like to test out the product, whatever it is, because if I'm passionate about it, then you're going to hear that come through.
One of the great opportunities we have in this business is meeting new people, listeners, proprietors, agencies. We just love meeting people. We're people persons. I think what helps us is we get a chance to meet business owners. Nobody knows a business better than the owner. It's his or her livelihood. They live with it day in and day out. So by just talking to an advertiser for 15 or 20 minutes, and we'll just sit and ask them, what's the best thing about what you do? And what's the biggest challenge you have as a business owner? We get to know that person. We get to know that business.
I would say you want to obviously find somebody who is going to be likely to use your product themselves. That's obviously the best person to do that. And in addition to that, someone who's going to be passionate about that product and be a big fan of that product. For that reason, I'm a little bit picky about who I endorse. I like to, if I'm going to hang my name on somebody's product, I want to really honestly feel like it's worthwhile for me personally. Because even after the ad campaign ends, I'm still will be that guy who was pushing that product, and so I want it to be good.
Hopefully, the advertiser listens to the show, and they know what personalities would fit their product. For instance, they know Bobby is not going to endorse a beer because Bobby's never had a drink of alcohol. They should know characteristics about each person on the show, and when they come in, they should understand that, okay, this person will fit my business because this, and this. And I think that will help them determine who they want to endorse their product.
Well, I think one of the great things about our show is that each of us we're at different points in our lives and we come at things differently. And so there's going to be, no matter what your product is, between the three of us, you're going to find someone that really fits your product, that uses your product like your potential customers do. So you can pretty much, if you get to know us or talk to our account executive, they can tell you which one of us really fits your product.
I want you to listen to the way I represent your product or service, and then let me know, is that how you want the message being delivered? Because if it isn't, let's get it to the point where you like how it sounds coming out, you like the way it's pictured, you like the way it's represented.
I think a good tip would be to let me try the product. We've seen the more successful campaigns that we've done have been things we've really used and been passionate about. The biggest thing to me would be, let us use it, tell us why it's so great, then let us see ourselves why it's so great.